Welcome to episode 8 of this beginner guide to getting started with all things Adobe Express, who have kindly sponsored this video series. So thank you to Adobe Express for that. If you do want to check out Adobe Express, there is a trial option down in the description. You can try that out for 30 days. But thank you once again to Adobe Express for sponsoring this video. Let's dive in and take a look at doing all things animation and video inside of Adobe Express. Let's get into it. Now, for those of you that are new here, my name's Darren. I'm an Adobe Express ambassador, and throughout the series we've been creating a number of images, and you can see here these are some of the ones that I've created, not through the series, but they are like the thumbnails that I've created for the series. And what we've got down here, we've got this kind of Instagram story post here. Now you can see here, this one in particular doesn't have the play button. You can see these ones have a play button, and that's because the rest of these I've added some animation to them. And it's really easy. If you've never added animation to a design before, it's really easy to do. We're going to just open this up, and you can see here now, this is one where I've just resized it, and we've been through resizing earlier in the season, but we've got our Instagram template here, and all we want to do now is we want to actually animate this. Now we can see with this selected and with the edit page options open, we can click animate all. And now what this does is allows us to do one-click animations. So it's going to add all of those different animations to the page. You can see we've got bloom, we've got one called glide where things glide in. We've got popping. Popping is probably one of my favorites. We've got sunrise where things are going to come up from the bottom. We've got waterfall, and then we've got other text options here, so we can randomly add those if we want to as well. So we've got those one-click animation options inside of Adobe Express. But what if we want to adjust how those things are coming on and going off our animation? We can easily do that inside of Adobe Express. Let me show you how. Now, one quick thing to note before we do show you how to change the timing of these, if you do change your mind and you don't want any animation on these, you just click the remove all option, and you can see there where it's actually removed that option. So if I just click undo on that, you can see here we've got this play button and edit timeline. If we click remove all, that removes any animations on there, and this now turns back to being just a static image that we can then download as a PNG or a JPEG. But we're going to add those animations on here, and we're going to go down to edit timeline. Okay, and now we can see we've actually got this timeline open. Now, depending on how many layers you've got on here, you can see all of those layers here. And as we scrub across, so we're just grabbing on this here and clicking and dragging that across, we can see how things are going to come on here. So you can see this one here of me. If I didn't want that to come on until much later on, say 2 seconds in, you can see here now we've got all of those on there. And then randomly I come in at around about the 2 second mark once this is playing, and you are literally just grabbing these along the edge here. Now, one of the things that I have seen people being tempted to do is actually just drag on these and reorder these. But what you're doing by reordering the layers here is you're actually changing the layers the same as you are down the side here. So you can see this one of me, which is 4 down. You can see it's also 4 down in the side panel here. If we move that up to the top, that's also going to move the layer up here. It's not changing the layers in order of the timings coming on, it's changing the layers of how they actually appear on the canvas. So if you imagine we're looking down on the canvas, the one at the top is the one that we can see. If we want anything underneath that, that's where they then start layering down underneath that. And that's kind of like how the layer options work inside of Express here. Now, one little side tip on here, if you do want to select multiple layers, you can, on a Mac, you can hold down the Command key. I think on the Windows, it's the Alt key. It's the one next to the space bar anyway. So we can click down that key, and then we can multiple select items, and then that multiply selects them on our canvas. So they're now kind of like temporarily grouped together. So we can just see there that those are temporarily grouped together if we wanted to. And on this one, I want to put myself back down to being here, and that's just how you can generally select multiple layers at the same time if you wanted to. Now, whilst the animate all option is nice and easy and adds some animation to a design in one simple click, what you might find is you actually want to tweak some of those animations or actually have different animations at different timings on your design. Now, there's an easy way you can do this. If you come over to the animation option here inside of Adobe Express, you can see now you've got all of these animation options. Under here, you can see first of all, you've got this block here, which will take you to the animate all options. And then under the animation option, we've also now got the animate in. We've got option to loop animation, so that it'll just keep looping. I don't have to explain looping, although I just did. And then we've got the option to animate out. So we might want an animation to come in from the side on the left hand side and then animate out to the other side on the right hand side. And we can do that. So this option here of me, we can see here we've got this, it's dropping down. But let's say we want to slide that in from the side here, but then on the option out, we want to actually then spin this out. So we spin me out, or we want to drop me down. You can see as I hover over them, as you hover over these, you will be able to see what the animation is going to do. So you see bungee, we've got rise, and then you can see now also on these options, you can see once we've actually got one of them selected, we've got this little icon that opens up. And if you click on that, that's going to allow you to then further tweak these options. You can change the duration of the animation. You can change how long it is, or the style, or what they call the personality. So whether it's soft, smooth, strong, energetic, or loud. You can have them fade in or just be on. So you can see at the moment where it slides in from the side, it will fade in. If I didn't want it to fade in and I just want it to be on there solid, you can see that does that. So it changes how these are coming in. You can also then change the direction of these. So whether you want it to slide in from the bottom, the top, the left, or the right. And also, if you've got something in the middle of the page, you might want it to start outside of the page. So let's say we've got this animation video here option. So we're going to say we want that to slide. You can see here at the moment, it does kind of like animates on there. If we want it to start outside of the page, you can see there, it actually changes how this looks. And for your design that you're creating, it's going to be a case of playing about with these and tweaking them and changing the animations that you want. Now, one tip I will give you is don't have loads and loads of different animations. That's just going to overwhelm and complicate things both for you and for the person watching your video. But it all depends on whether you want things to time on the page. So let's say for this image of me, let's say I didn't want me on that particular frame all the time. I can just click and drag the edge here. Okay, we're going to click and choose to zoom me out, and I'm going to choose the circle option because what's animation if it's not a circle? So we're going to change this to smooth, and you can see here now, if I go back to the side here, as we come on, you can see I come on from the side there. As I then drag over, I then disappear into a circle. Poof, just like that. Okay, so we've got some really cool options there. And again, if we then decide we don't want to do these, we can click undo to change how we've got those, or we can just click remove all animations on there. And then for the item that's selected, it's removed all of those items or removed all of the animation on that particular item we had selected. It's not removed all of the animations from the whole of the page. If you wanted to do that, you'd go to the animate all option and then click remove all from there. Removing the animation from one of the layers here just removes it from that layer. So you can see now as we click or drag across, you can see I just appear on there. I just poof, I'm there, and then I stay on the page because I've just kept myself there. But again, if I just wanted to just disappear at a certain time on there, you just change the end here and poof, you're gone. So you can come in and tweak each of those as you want to. Now this is all well and good, but what if we want to then have a different page? all you do is you come down to the plus item here. You can see it says add media. You're then just going to add a blank scene, or you can upload from your device, or you can even add audio. We're going to add a blank scene. Okay, you can see now, once we've added a blank scene, it changes. So if I wanted to, I could put all of my pages together in a series and then just have them play one after the other in a longer video. And between each of those pages, you can see down here, we've got this little plus icon, and that's where we can now add in here a transition. So now, because we've got multiple scenes or pages, if you like, so we've got those two scenes, in between, how we transition between those two scenes, we can add in a transition. Now, if we click on that, we can see we've got the option to dip to black, dip to white, we've got dissolve, we've got the normal page slides, and all of that side of things. So, and also, once you've then added in and selected the page transition that you want, you have the option to change the duration, the personality of that transition, and also the direction. So if you wanted to go up and down or left and right, you can change each of those. So it's not just the one direction that you are choosing. You are able to come in here and change how that actually transitions between each of those pages. Now, once you have got all of your transitions and your pages and animations set, you might want to then choose to add some audio or sound effects. We're just going to come down and click on add audio, and that's going to then open up our content options where we've got our different media, and we can choose our music. We can either upload from a device, we can record a voiceover. So if we've got a series of things where we've created a day in the life or something that we want to do a voiceover, you can actually record that inside of Adobe Express here, and it automatically has the option to enhance your speech. Now, I'm not going to do that today. We're going to come over and we're going to actually choose to add some audio. You can see here you've got all these different options to add audio and music. We've also got the option of sound effects here. So if you wanted a sound effect, you can just come down and choose the sound effects that you want to add on here. So I was just going to click and add this one here. You can see we've now chosen and added in our music. Now, we don't want it to play all to the end. Let's say we just wanted the music on the first one. Again, you can just click and drag these options, and say you want it to fade in and out, you can do. You can change the duration of that fade or fading in and out. You can change the volume on here, and also if you've got a talking section, you'll be able to actually enhance the speech. Now, enhanced speech on here is absolutely phenomenal. It's amazing at removing background noises and making it sound more like you're actually on a podcast. Highly recommend this for short form videos if that's what you're wanting to edit. Now, speaking of video, video works pretty much in the same way as it does with the animations and the elements that we're animating on and off the page. We're just going to have a couple of different things in here that we're going to be able to have a look at. So let's move on to looking at how we change and edit video inside of Adobe Express. Now, for this, I want to just switch back to a different page. So up here, we're going to click on pages, and that's going to then give us our pages back down the bottom here. And I can choose this one here. We're going to then choose edit timeline, and I can now come in and show you what we're actually looking like when we've got this option on here. So we've got our two different pages like we did with the other option here, but this one we've just got, you know, our towel coming in there, and then we've got me bouncing it in and being shown on the page there. Randomly, my dictionary always pops up. So we've got that popping in, and you can have a video play for a certain period, so you just have it come on. But let's wind things back a little bit here. So what I'm trying to show you here first is that the interface looks very similar to how we were doing with the pages. Now, if we want to do, we can click on here. Now you can see here you've got video layer. Okay, so this big image, or the big area here, you can see I've got selected right now, that's the length of the page, but we might not want the video to play for the whole part of the page. So we can actually just have the video playing for just part of the page. Okay, so as we then just drag this over, you can see the video disappears. And you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, I've got the video down here. And you're like, no, this isn't the video layer. This one here that we've got selected isn't the video layer. This one here is the video layer. And that's where we can choose the actual length of the video that we want to show on the actual page. Okay. Now, the other thing you got on here is you can actually slip edit the video. Now, this is a little bit more on the advanced side, but I'm going to show you anyway. If we click on slip edit video, you can see we can just drag the area of the video. Okay. So we can see at the beginning here, okay, you can see as we drag it, we can actually start or choose which part of the video we want it to start on. So it's actually going to start now with that towel in the middle. So if we then click on the area just at the side, you can see now that this video now starts from that towel coming in there. Okay, so if we now click on the video layer again and click slip edit, okay, let's say we didn't want it to start there, we want it to actually, we want it to start outside. So we're just clicking and dragging. Okay, so now you can see what we've actually got is when we click play on this, you can see that the towel, or putting the towel on, starts outside of the page. I'm hoping that makes sense to you. You're just choosing the part of the clip or slipping the part of the clip. So the clip stays this long, but say your video is kind of like this long and you want to just kind of like come in from the end one side and the end the other side, you're literally slipping the video inside of that frame, which is why it's called slip video on there. That's technically, that's what you are doing. You're slip editing that portion of the video. If that's a little bit too confusing, drop me a comment and let me know, and I can do more videos around this. But we can see here we've got our text. We've just added our text on the page here like you would anything else. So you can see we've got our text on there. You can come over to the animation and choose the way you want this text to animate on. So we're going to see, we're going to have it wobble out. Okay, but you can just add in all of those animations. You can choose animate all, and again you can still come in and choose animate all the same way you did on the animation options that I was showing you earlier on. The video options are no different. Now, you know, earlier on I was talking about the enhanced speech. You can see because this video here of me has got me speaking, I've now got the option to actually enhance the speech on that video inside of Adobe Express here. So I could click on that, it'll go away and process that for me. And also we've got the option to remove the background video on, or remove the background on a video. So you can click that option if you just wanted a talking head. Let's say I was recording something like this and I wanted to just remove the background from everything, then I could actually do that here inside of Adobe Express. But that's a beginner's guide to animation and video inside of Adobe Express. If you've got any questions after following this series, drop them down in the comments below. I'd love to be able to help you out further, and I'd love to also receive any feedback that you've got. Drop that down in the comments. If you're not following me over on social media, my Instagrams and everything is all in the links down in the description below. But thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed this series, and until next time, bye for now.